Hi everyone, so today we'll be discussing healthy, nutritious snacking to help our children grow strong and give them that energy that they need to fuel their day. So, snacking, as you all know, is a huge part of a child's life. You might feel like your children's, constantly asking for a snack, or maybe they're constantly saying, I'm hungry, what can I eat? So, the dietary guidelines for Americans recommend that children eat every 3 to 4 hours. So, this is going to help to fuel their growing and active bodies and minds. So, this means that your child should have at least 2 to 3 snacks per day. So, many of you might be wondering then, what kind of snacks should I offer? How do I get my children to be excited about eating healthy snacks? Or, when's a good time to offer snacks? So, these are kind of the things that we'll be discussing today. So, a good time to offer your child a snack is going to be a few hours after a meal or about 2 hours before the next meal. So, for example, if your child ate breakfast at 7 a.m., you could offer a snack then at 10 a.m. So, this is going to be 3 hours after a meal and then about 2 hours before lunchtime. So, remembering these time frames can be really helpful for your child to build up that appetite for mealtime, and also helps to reduce the risk for them avoiding foods during that next mealtime as well. So now that we know about good times to offer snacks, you might be wondering, what kind of snacks do I provide for them then? So a good snack is considered both satisfying and nutritious. So snacking is a great opportunity then to help, you and your child eat maybe some of those food groups that we aren't getting at other meal times. So if your family doesn't really eat a ton of vegetables, including vegetables at snack time is a great way to incorporate those. So maybe it's cut up carrots or cut up bell peppers with some hummus can be a great snack for your child to provide them with some of the food groups that they might not be getting otherwise. A good way to think about snacking then is thinking as it as a mini meal. So trying to pair at least 2 food groups together. So the food groups are going to be your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, your protein, and your dairy. So a good way to build a snack is oftentimes pairing a carbohydrate and a protein. So these food groups will provide your children with longer lasting energy. It will also help keep them fuller for longer periods of time so they're not coming back to you saying, I'm hungry in just 30 minutes. And then kind of building onto that, so protein is important for children to give them the building blocks to build those muscles, so it helps with growth and development. So protein can come from things in meats, it can come from eggs or cheese, yogurt, nuts and seeds, or even like nut butter, so peanut butter or sunflower butter. Some good examples of pairing that carbohydrate and the protein together could be an apple and cheese. It could be celery and peanut butter, whole grain cracker and peanut butter. It could be a smoothie. So smoothies are also a great way to incorporate some of those fruits and vegetables that we're not getting as well. So throwing in some spinach and then maybe a banana and peanut butter. So we're getting some of those fruits, but we're also getting a protein source as well. So now that I've gone over just some examples, I wanted to then end with more of a fun and simple recipe demo that you can make with your children. So I would make these a lot when I nannied children, and they loved them, and they're called apple donuts. So the ingredients kind of are variable based off of your child's preferences, but for this recipe demo, I'm going to be using an apple, some peanut butter, hazelnut spread, and then granola and mini chocolate chips. So thinking about the food groups, we're going to be using apple, which is going to be that fruit, and then the peanut butter or even the granola can be our protein source. So we're pairing at least 2 food groups together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be cutting the apple. So this is going to be more of the parent or the caregiver's role. So we're going to be cutting off the stem, and we're also going to be cutting off the bottom, the things that we don't want to eat. The next thing we're going to do once we cut that off is we're going to start slicing the apple. And for preschoolers, to prevent the risk of choking, we want to make sure that we're cutting these pretty thin as well. So once we do that, we're going to be left with small thin slices, so it's going to look something like this. And when I actually cut into this apple, I noticed that it actually made a fun shape with the seeds. So this is a great time to get your kids interacting. You can ask them like, what does this look like? Or if you want to hold it up through their eye and tell them to look through it. It gets them excited about trying different fruits and vegetables. So that's a great way to get them excited about what they eat. So the next step after that is then going to be getting rid of that center piece because a lot of times it has the seeds or it's kind of hard. If your children want to help with this step, you can simply take just a spoon and kind of press into it, and that's just going to get rid of that center part. And then after that is when we can really get the kids involved with this. So what you're going to do then is take your spread. So it's either going to be, for me, peanut butter and hazelnut spread. Another thing you could do would be yogurt. Just getting them involved and getting them spreading it on, kind of practicing those motor skills as well, is a great way to get them involved in a recipe as well. And then the last step then is going to be having them sprinkle on whatever they had wanted. So I'm using granola and then some mini chocolate chips. You could use other things like chopped up nuts, chopped up strawberries, shredded coconut. You could even drizzle on some honey. So at the end, I'll show you kind of what mine looked like. So these are what mine looked like. So this recipe, again, is just a super simple, inexpensive. It uses ingredients that we typically have at home already. And then it's a fun and interactive way to get your kids involved and get your kids excited about nutritious foods. So having that positive atmosphere and those positive interactions with food is an amazing way to help teach your children about foods that will help them grow big and strong. So kind of as we come to this end of the presentation, I did want to reiterate two main points. So the first one being that children eat every 3 to 4 hours. So again, that means that they're going to have 2 to 3 snacks. So remembering those good time frames, so offering snacks 2 to 3 hours after a meal and then about 2 hours prior to the next meal kind of helps build up that appetite. The second key takeaway is being that snacks should be thought of as mini meals. So trying to pair at least 2 food groups together can really help create that balanced snack. So this does conclude my presentation. I hope that it was really helpful. Hope you all learned something new, and hopefully that this recipe now is one that you and your children will be able to make. So thank you.